Hi, Danielle. Great to see you here today. I want to start with the backstory of how did Konnecto come about and what problem were you trying to solve when you created this product?
Hey, Leanne. So Konnecto started from having the data of the entire customer journey, which we knew was super important in the marketing world because you need to know everything that's taking place and not, kind of work in a silo across the different channels and slice and dice the stages. Now, our original product really was around all of the marketing channels, so providing prescriptive insights into each one of the digital channels. And one of the things that we identified throughout time was that the affiliate channel was actually driving a substantial amount of ROI. So, as a team, we paused and we analyzed the situation. And we understood that it's really much smarter to go deeper into one specific channel that has huge pain points, given the ROI that we can provide there, as opposed to going wide across all channels. And when we went a little bit deeper into the affiliate channel specifically, we realized that having the full context together with the conversions and the prescriptive insights into what exact action you need to take solves pain points of affiliate marketers that A, don't have this type of data, B, don't have much specific data at all to drive decisions, and are forced to play a very tiring and stressful guessing game. And so we entered the market to really help them solve that need to guess or to hope or to go to bed with that weight on their shoulders. Am I going to wake up to a crisis tomorrow? Am I going to be able to meet my KPIs? We're the tool that helps them sleep better at night. I would put it that way.
Yeah, sounds good. But what was the beginning conversation when you and Ares looked at each other and went, aha, we need to build this? How did you get to that point?
So you'll find this funny, but every version of the product that we've ever done, we have drawn on pieces of paper. That's the only way that my brain actually works around it. Erez and I come from an interesting combination of backgrounds. So Erez comes with a background of many years in the Israeli intelligence force analyzing consumer behavior. So that's really what gave that side of things in terms of the connection to this type of data, the importance of this data, and the different applications that it can have.
Yeah.
I came more from the side of marketing and consumer insights. So really working with CPG companies, beauty companies, food and beverage companies, many different types of companies, and understanding that it's not enough to spend tens and hundreds of millions of dollars in developing new products and launching them into the market. With the high level of competition, it really matters how do you engage consumers. You can have a winning product and do a really bad job at bringing it to market, and it's just not going to go out there in the right way.
Yeah.
And so kind of my experience around that, working in the data consumer insight side of things, together with Erez's intelligence side of things, really brought that together to understand that we want to bring forward, on the one side, a data platform, but a Spotify of the world, a Tinder of the world, not another data platform that requires to go and query and essentially have a headache by the time you're done logging in and trying to make something of it. Really have that seamless experience that's fun for you to log in and use a platform that makes your life better.
There is an immense amount of data that you can extract out of this machine, and that is what I'm actually going to call it, is a machine. It's a
Mhm.
data intelligence machine, and it covers multiple different sections or segments of information that an affiliate manager needs. So it's quite interesting that the two of you come from that background and that you've built the user dashboard that you have, and I have seen the product because it really is intuitive. It leads you down the path of what are you trying to discover today. On a typical day, an affiliate manager is going to come into the platform and they're going to use the publisher discovery tool. What kind of data can they extract out of that? What's the kind of like flow that happens? And then they're going to look at market intelligence, and then they're going to look at monitoring. And
Yeah.
the tool covers all of those things. So explain how you and Aries actually mapped that out on a piece of paper. Like, how did you make it so simple when it is actually quite a complex function that the tool is supporting?
So I think, first of all, before we actually dive into the tool, it's important to take a step back and understand what the day-to-day of an affiliate manager looks like. Because if you come
Mhm.
in and you solve one specific segment of the day, it's not good enough because they're still needing to jump between 7 different platforms, which gives them a headache on its own. So if we think about breaking down their journey, it starts off with identifying new publishers. That's a huge part of their day. And that's where the partner discovery layer comes in. So
Mm.
they get a curated list of all of the different publishers, all of the different YouTubers that are out there. So they don't need to go and try to search for them. But then they also get performance metrics so they can evaluate and prioritize them, which is the next step of what they have to do. They're not going to reach out to 100 publishers every day. They want to reach out to the top X% of publishers that are actually going to move the needle. And that's where that performance data comes in, whether it's conversions, relevant traffic, specific placements, all the way to stability indicators, which leads us into the third step, which is the negotiation. They're still going to need to reach out to the publisher. We provide them with contact details. We provide them with reach out messages. So they're not just reaching out and saying, hey, we should work together. It's
Mm.
something that's more data-based, increasing that response rate, which is a critical step of the funnel, leading them into the negotiation. They don't need to be sitting in the room believing what the publishers are promising them. They need to come with the power. If that's how is the publisher sourcing their data? How stable are these conversions over time? What placements are actually driving conversions versus placements that the publishers may be saying are, but are not necessarily doing that. Now we got to the stage where they close the deal, and now they need to monitor everything that's taking place. Why should they wait for that phone call or for the publisher to call them and say, a week ago, we dropped you from placement 2 to placement 7 because we got a better bid? They need to know about these things in real time so that they can manage the risks and opportunities of their program, all the way to reporting to their management. What's working? What's not working? How are they against other programs, against their competitors, so that they have everything that they need to actually spend their time in curating the relationships, in reaching out and building what needs the human in the loop, and not spending their time on actions that just don't need to be done manually today.
You spend a lot of time doing research to find affiliates that you want to be working with based on their traffic. But the difference here with Konnecto is that it's not based on the traffic, it's based on the conversion that the client or that the publisher is actually sending. And you can curate that list, as you said, based on the competitors that you want to benchmark yourself against. So you could benchmark yourself to your very nearest competitor, and you could also benchmark yourself to a competitor that's like way out of your league. And in doing so,
Correct.
you're going to get a curated set of publishers that you can work with that maybe you would have missed or not even looked at because your traditional methods of recruitment and doing the data analysis to find these partners isn't available in one platform right now. You are going to be looking at multiple different platforms and doing Google keyword searches and doing all the traditional things that affiliate managers have had to learn to do on the fly. Why did you feel that your effort should be in this channel?
I think at the end of the day, the affiliate industry is missing the experts in terms of the right insights.
Mm.
Let's say now someone has a medical issue. They'll want to go to the best expert that specializes in their specific issue. That's how we see ourselves, the experts that bring forward that data that you need. You want to go and find the right publishers. You want to go to the expert that brings you the precise data to make that decision. You want to stay on top of what's happening with your program or benchmark yourself against competitors. You want to be able to go to that expert. And that's why we've built Konnecto very deep into the affiliate channel, providing a realm of capabilities so that you have a one-stop shop expert intelligence tool to help you make the right decisions.
Yeah, I love that. So, one of the biggest challenges in affiliate marketing is finding the right partners to work with. But I think a bigger challenge now today is actually maintaining those partnerships and making sure that you are on top of any changes that are happening because, publishers can drop you at the drop of a hat. And the worst feeling that you get as an affiliate manager, especially when you're running a really big program, is when numbers drop, everybody's looking at you to ask you why has that happened. So
Mhm.
talk us through how Konnecto supports affiliate program managers to really maintain their growth efforts and not just extend them.
So I think that's really divided into 2 layers. One is reducing the manual work that doesn't really need to be done today, which is
Mm.
automation, whether that's through AI that you can simply ask the tool questions and get to the answer very quickly, all the way to replacing manual work that you would be doing if that's monitoring changes, making sure you're not being dropped, like you said, from placement number 2 to placement number 7, or suddenly with the new Google regulations, you haven't been dropped in a publisher from a publisher appeared second. Now it's appearing on page number 7, and you don't understand why you're not getting conversion. So on the one side, it's really reducing that manual work. But what we need to ask ourselves is, what does that result in? Because it's not that affiliate managers are not needed anymore, or it's not that if they use Konnecto, then they have job security or they don't need to work. They need to be putting in their efforts in generating stronger relationships. And that's something that automation can't do. I can't build a relationship for you with the chief editor of the publisher that you are getting a lot of conversions from. That's something that you need to do. But when you have more time to do that, when you have more peace of mind to do that, when you know that you're not going to be surprised by changes and you have support by the data, you can do that in a much better way, resulting in a much healthier affiliate program over time.
So just a quick question from me, because I mean, alerts are great, but are you able to set up alerts for different things? Because it's one thing to get a whole bunch of alerts and then have to go through the list of alerts every day, but can you actually set up for triggers that matter to you in the platform?
100%. And when we start working with new clients, typically my recommendation is to start wide, but then to start customizing. There may
Okay.
be specific alerts that are more relevant to you. If those are placement changes, new articles, SERP changes are more important to you than if a competitor entered or left a specific publisher. It could be that from a strategic perspective, you're spending 80%, of your budget on 20% of the publishers, and you only want to get alerts for those, or you even want to define thresholds. So you have the liberty to really define that. Our team works with you, so we'll do the lifting on our end in terms of defining it. You just need to answer a few simple questions, and we'll program that into the alerts themselves. I'll take it even one step further. I have a client that spends over $1 million a month on one publisher that they work with. They want to get alerts for that publisher via text message so that they, even if it's in the middle of the night, they know that something's happening. And there's other publishers where an email or an Asana task is enough for them. So that also can be customized based on the priority of that publisher for you.
And in terms of the configuration of the platform, so once you've decided how you want to use the tool, what's the configuration and setup process? Like, how long does it take to set up the alerts? How long does it take to set up your competitors?
So it's like 30-minute call with the client, and then from
Okay.
there we run the models. It takes about a week to do the initial learnings, and you get access to the platform. I would say more than that, on a monthly basis, we also surface new competitors. So there
Mm,
are instances where, let's say you're a brand and you come and you tell me, these are my 5 competitors. Of course, I'll incorporate those. But as we refresh the data and customer journeys are changing, we identify in many cases that you may think that your target audience is interacting with 5 main competitors. We see that they're interacting with those 5 plus 2 other competitors that maybe weren't on your radar. And so this allows us to surface additional competitors. Again, you can choose, do I want to account for them? Do I not want to account for them? But we see it as our responsibility, given we see the entire funnel of consumers, to let you know that something is changing in the consumer behavior that you need to be aware of.
yeah, and that's great because half the time, you're busy building those relationships. You're busy looking at firefighting against, drop-offs and things that change. You're not actually really looking at a competitive analysis very often. Like maybe if you're a really good affiliate manager once a quarter, you're having a step up over the parapet and going, okay, who's around? But definitely not like every month. And I think that would give you a lot of competitive intelligence that maybe you're just not even accessing right now because you just don't have the time. Can you share an example of a success story where Konnecto has had a significant impact on a brand's affiliate program, helping them to scale and unlock new opportunities like you've just mentioned?
Yeah, so I think an interesting story that I recently stumbled upon from our customer success team is a client that was very heavily focused on coupon and discount sites because he was sure that that's how the industry is behaving. That's where competitors are getting their conversions from.
Mm.
And after looking in the Konnecto platform, what he actually realized is that the competitors are very heavily investing in content partnerships.
Ah.
Now, the challenge for him there is the fact that in many cases, content partnerships require more upfront payments. They're sometimes less flexible in terms of the payout structure. It's more risky, let's say, for the brands themselves. But what he was actually able to do is leverage Konnecto to, I would say, shift his strategy in a smart and, let's say, safe way. I think that's a good way to put it,
Mm.
by actually going after the content partners that are proven to generate ROI, show initial success through them, even if they do require more of the upfront payments. And then that allowed him to actually open up much more additional budget to go after that specific sub-segment of publishers. And he actually saw within 3 months, I would say 3 times the amount of conversions that he was seeing before, which is a huge increase over that period of time. And I would say more than just an increase, the LTV of those customers went up substantially. And that's very critical in today's market.
It is because, we're often fighting to get budget in the performance space because everybody believes that performance runs on performance, but it doesn't. We're working with
Mhm.
lots of different types of affiliate partners, from lead generators on CPA through to, revenue share partners. And often it's difficult to crack into a new segment that your company is not familiar with. And it's a risk. And you have to give that risk profile story in order to actually open up the budget and get the money from the accountants. So having that kind of data to actually test, but not only on assumption, on actual conversion, is a really, really important tactic. If you are running a really, really big program and looking to scale and find growth, sometimes that's the depth that you have to get into in order to find where those niches are happening. And the best thing about this product is that it gives it to you based on the competitor. So it's not just an assumption of, oh, all my competitors are using SEO content-based sites. It actually tells you which sites to go and invest in and or investigate. So for affiliate managers that are listening to this fireside chat and watching it here with us, what do they need to do to get started with Konnecto? Like, what?
That's a great question. So first of all, yes, they're definitely more than invited to reach out, get a demo. I would say even more than that. Once we get an understanding of exactly what competitors they want to look at, how they look at their conversions, their lens on the industry, we're also happy to set up a personalized gap analysis for them so that they can actually see it in action. Of course, they also have the option to sign up for the free version on our website because we really believe in allowing to test out the functionality. The questions that I would recommend they ask on the demo is really being able to get a sense of the data points and how they would leverage these data points on a day-to-day basis. How does this make their entire journey easier as affiliate managers? And how does it make the results better for them? Because I think at the end of the day, they want to be able to drive better results. They want to be able to do it more easily. And they also want to be able to be smart in the room when they're asked questions by management, being able to bring data points that maybe they weren't expected to be able to bring to shine in the room. So those are the types of different questions or different lenses that I would recommend they evaluate the platform and really look at it from a perspective of how is this type of data going to make me better, going to make my program perform better, and going to allow me to just be a better affiliate manager because I can spend my time in the right places.
Okay. So thank you so much for being on this rapid fire interview with me. It has been a pleasure exploring Konnecto and understanding what it can do for affiliate managers and also the depth of data that it provides.
It's been a pleasure as well, Leanne. Thank you so much for having me.